In late 2002 or so, Capcom announced 5 games that would be released for the Nintendo GameCube in hopes that they would push sales for the GameCube itself and show that the console had rich third-party support. These games, appropriately dubbed the Capcom 5, consisted of, in no particular order, Viewtiful Joe, Killer 7, Dead Phoenix, Resident Evil 4, and P.N.03. I feel like P.N.03, otherwise known as Product Number 3, the zero is silent, is heavily overlooked as one of the bigger influences in Capcom history. Even though P.N.03 was a commercial failure, it... What was that?
It's a me! Bob C!
What the fuck?
Happy birthday, cocksucker! Are you ready to party?
I'm in the middle of reviewing a game. I told you about this.
Oh! I thought you were doing that earlier today. Whoops. I kind of invited all the other people, too. They should be here soon.
Look, go sit down. We'll deal with the other people when they get here. As I was saying, even though P.N.03 was a commercial failure, its influence on the rest of the Capcom 5 was deep, to say the least. So, what is P.N.03? P.N.03 is a third-person shooter directed by Shinji Mikami that is centered around a female named Vanessa S. Schneider. She is a lively freelance mercenary who has been contracted by a mysterious client to arrive on a colonized planet that has been taken over by computerized armament management system robots, aka CAMs, and wipe them all out. And that's as far as the plot goes in P.N.03. Honestly, there's not much else. Without delving into spoiler territory, I can tell you that later on in the game, Vanessa is confronted with a massive existential crisis, and the rest of the plot rides off this. It's worth mentioning that Vanessa is the only character of note in the entire game. While we're on the topic, the more educated viewer may note that Vanessa from P.N.03 and Jill Valentine from Resident Evil share likeness. Since both were directed by Shinji Mikami, it stands to reason that he simply reused the Julia Voth face model from Jill in the 2002 remake of Resident Evil for 2003's P.N.03. Beyond being a commercial failure, P.N.03 was also a critical failure as it was given bad reviews for its gameplay. But is the gameplay really that bad? Well, I've reviewed a ton of bad games before and... Go get that, Bubsy.
Alright.
Party time.
Ah, hey Dick.
Hey, fuckface. Here, this is for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Dick has gotten me a grenade. Amazing. Well, Dick, go sit down. I need to finish reviewing this game, and after I'm done with this, we'll go do karaoke or something.
Don't mind me, assholes.
Like I was saying, I've reviewed a ton of bad games, and this one didn't stick out to me as anything horrible. In fact, I really like it. It does have its fair share of problems within its gameplay, but let's summarize how it plays first. On the surface, P.N.03 is comprised of 2 things: shooting and booty shaking. When further explored, P.N.03 plays like a 3D rendition of older arcade shooters like Galaga. Vanessa is equipped with an Aegis suit, which allows her to shoot energy blasts out of her palm a la Iron Man when you repeatedly tap the A button. The goals of each level are simple: either get to the end, or get to the end and defeat a boss. In your way are the many different cams that will try to kill you. In typical Shinji Mikami fashion, Vanessa cannot move and shoot at the same time. So, they implemented a dodge mechanic into P.N.03. Press the right trigger and she dodges. Press it twice and she goes further. The same goes for the left trigger. In addition, you can also do backflips and spin backwards to reposition yourself. In addition to shooting blasts out of her palm, the Aegis suit also allows Vanessa to use a special attack that discharges destructive energy from the suit, called the Energy Drive. By pressing a combination of buttons, you can do some of the Energy Drive attacks, such as Swan or Harrier. Dodging attacks and killing various enemies at a time results in combos, which ties into P.N.03's point system. After completing a level, you can shop for items with these points. You can buy more continues, so that if you die, you can start off where you died and not the first level in the mission. Also given is the option to buy other suits. The suits in the game have different stats. Some suits have higher health, some have higher power, some have the automatic ability so you don't need to continuously press A to shoot, and some have higher energy outputs so you can use more energy drive attacks. Different suits also have different special energy drives. Gaining points allows you to buy enhancements for your suits or buy other suits and upgrade them too. Now, let's get the bad out of it. Shit, what the fuck? Oh, it's just Alma. Alma's here. Oh, happy birthday. Thank you. Well, you can go sit down. After I finish this review, we'll go. Oh, you'd rather stand up. Well, that's not creepy at all. Anyways, let's get the problems with P.N.03 out of the way first. This camera sucks. It just doesn't do it for me. It's not free roaming, which means you can't manipulate it at will. It has 3 fixed angles you can pose it at, and they're disorienting, and when you're backed up against a wall, they're useless. To navigate in the game, instead of moving your camera, it's easier to just reposition Vanessa to where you need to be looking. P.N.03's biggest issue is probably its controls. They're very unconventional and can confuse people. The auto-aim system is wonky, and Vanessa's movement is stiff. Her dodges also could have been more fluid, possibly more akin to Wesker in Resident Evil 5. The environments are also repetitive and extremely linear, as there are never any alternate paths you can take to reach the end or reach a boss. With all these problems, you'd think that I'd hate this game, but it's all the opposite. I fucking love it. Although the plot doesn't extend much beyond the opening cutscene, Vanessa still has some conversations with her mysterious client, and I thought they were hilarious. Beyond the plot, I really enjoyed the gameplay. There is a steep learning curve, but if you can... go get it.
Whoa! It's Kirito and Asuna!
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Don't these motherfuckers have something to do?
Who invited them?
I think it was Dick.
Fuck no.
Hey! Rambo is here too! And so are the Cheetahman!
This place is a fucking funhouse.
Alright guys, go sit down. I'm almost done with this review, alright? We'll leave in a couple minutes. Back to the game. P.N.03 definitely has a steep learning curve, but once you master this, you feel this big sense of accomplishment because you finally reined in the controls and mastered the dodging. In other words, you've pretty much become unbeatable. The nature of the gameplay itself is addictive, and the music blaring in the background only feeds into this. Add to this the fact that Vanessa is really upbeat and dances to the music, and you find yourself having a fun time depending on whether or not you can tolerate the controls. Earlier in this video, I said that P.N.03 had a big impact on the rest of the Capcom 5, and I think it's time to talk about that. P.N.03 was the first game released in the Capcom 5 in March of 2003. It was a massive failure and reportedly sold less than 11,000 copies in Japan. This apparently told Capcom that the GameCube sucked, and it scared the shit out of them so badly that they immediately cancelled Dead Phoenix. Capcom was going through a rough time in terms of financials, and P.N.03 bombing certainly didn't help. On top of this, Resident Evil 0 also wasn't a smashing success, which caused another gigantic freakout from Capcom, this time targeting Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 had a very strange development cycle, which was interrupted by Capcom when they completely scrapped an almost halfway completed version of the game and replaced the then director Hiroshi Shibata with who else but Shinji Mikami. This version of the game became the infamous Resident Evil 3.5, which featured Leon S. Kennedy suffering from hallucinations and fighting doll monsters. Possibly due to the underwhelming performance of Resident Evil 0, all of these versions were scrapped and work began on the Resident Evil 4 we know today. Of course, this is all speculation, but it's possible that if P.N.03 wasn't a complete failure in the sales department and sold above Capcom's expectations, that we would be looking at a very different Capcom 5 today. For starters, Dead Phoenix may not have been cancelled and may have spawned a profitable franchise for Capcom, and Resident Evil 4 may not have been anything like the Resident Evil 4 we know today, which would have impacted further sequels like 5, 6, and the Revelations series. P.N.03 also suffered from Capcom's strange decisions at the time, as Shinji Mikami himself has disclosed. In an interview with Edge magazine about his game Vanquish, when asked about the things he was unable to put into P.N.03 that he was able to put into Vanquish, he had this to say: "I wanted to make sure that the main character would shoot guns. In the early stages of P.N.03, Vanessa had guns, but because of schedule constraints, we weren't able to create all the animations for the guns, so we had to take them out. I really wanted her to shoot with guns." This is all backed up by beta footage of P.N.03 where Vanessa is shooting a large gun. Getting back to reality, P.N.03 was a game that suffered from time constraints, and a game that wasn't fully realized was released. To me, it's still a very fun game, however. The hecticness of the gameplay accompanied by the fast electronic music creates an addictive nature that I couldn't get enough of. The game is certainly not without its flaws, but if released today and I spent money on it, I wouldn't feel cheated or ripped off. That's why P.N.03 gets the final rating of...
Take my money!
Alright guys, show's over. Let's go.
Time to move. I got bad guys to send to commie heaven. Fucking ninja style. I'm gonna bring it to them. I'm gonna show them what time it is.
It's your turn, DX. Pick a song.
Alright. Hey, why aren't the lyrics showing up on the screen?
Shoddy fucking commie engineering.
Whatever. I'll make my own lyrics. Hit it. It's time to play the games. And watch anime! It's all about the game and how you play it, about problems and if you can say it, about school days and who's gonna take it, about the review and who's gonna make it. I play the games if you don't wanna play them. Bad controls, no way you can change them. Graphics are shit, no way to upgrade them. These games cause me pain, but I know I can take it. I buy games on Steam, ready to run. Just download them and they're fucking done. I play the games, but don't make the rules. So I move on out there and die like a fool. Try to figure out what anime is next. Anything but shitty ecchi with no sex. Don't you forget there's a price I must pay, 'cause I play the games you don't wanna play. It's time to play the games. Time to play the games! It's all about the games and how you play them, about sword art and if you can watch it, about velvet ass and if I can weigh it. These games cause me pain, but I can still take it. Shitty games, you don't wanna play them. Terrible plot, there's no way you can change it. Anime's so bad I won't watch if you pay me. I'm in such pain, but I bet I can take it. play the games, anime's the same. You're gonna call it names and wish it dies in flames. Time to play the games! And watch anime. It's time to play the games. It's time to watch anime. Time to play the games!